Okay, here's your review for your test. Please make sure you study tonight. I'm going to kind of zip through some of these problems because you should have already completed them by now. So I'm going to just highlight some important things. The first one talked about a company who distributes its products by train or truck. The cost of the train was given by this polynomial right there. And the cost to distribute by trucks is given by this polynomial right there. Let me turn it a little bit so you can see it. So there is the train. There is the truck. Key thing here is it says write a polynomial to represent the difference. What does difference mean we're doing? We are subtracting the two. So you should have written negative 0.09x squared plus 31x minus 110. And then it says minus negative 0.04x squared plus 25x minus 170. What did I write that right there? Let me scoot that in a little bit. It's just not, there we go. It's a little better. Remember, we're doing a difference of both, so you're going to have to distribute this. That means this is going to turn into a positive 0.04x squared. Distribute the negative, that turns into a negative 25x. Distribute the negative, that turns into a positive 170. And from here, we're basically just collecting like terms. These two will go together. The x's will go together. And then the numbers will go together. So I just kind of use circles, triangles, and rectangles. So when we combine the negative 0.09 plus 0.04, that gives us negative 0.05 x squared. Then we have 31 minus 25 is going to give us a positive 6x. And then negative 110 plus 170 is going to give us a positive 60. And that is the difference of distributing by train and trucks. Got it? Okay, the next one says to multiply. So we are multiplying. Here we go, these polynomials. So we're basically distributing. Make sure you distribute the 8 and the c. So this is saying 8 times 5, that's going to be 40. Remember your rules. Multiplying c times c cubed, multiplication, you add the exponent, so that's going to be c to the 4th, and the d to the 4th just comes down. Here we distribute 8 times negative 4, that's going to be negative 32c, and then bring the d to the 4th down, and that's your final answer you should have got. Moving along, because you should have done these. Some of you might have done the window pane. I'll try the window pane on this one. X plus 2 times x minus 5. Remember, to get the answers in the window pane, you're multiplying. X times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. X times 2 is 2x. And then 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So you multiply to get your answers. Then when you write your answer, let's scoot that over a little bit. You write that first term, x squared. These two are alike, so we're going to combine them. And that's when you add, when you combine like terms. That's negative 3x minus 10. Got that? Next one, I'll use full method. 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4 times that is 4x. Negative 5 times that, you should have got negative 15x. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. Combining it like terms. Scoot that down a little bit. And your final answer should be 12x squared minus 11x minus 5. Everybody got that? Down here, several of you did not do so well on your special products homework because you tried to distribute this 2 into the parentheses. You cannot distribute. It has a plus sign right there. So this basically means you are writing this twice. Please make sure you do not make that mistake on your test tomorrow. That squared tells us we're writing it twice. two of those parentheses. You're not distributing that squared. So then you could do 4, 9 times 9r, it's going to be 81r squared. 9 times 5 is going to be 45rs. That's going to be another 45rs, and then 5s and 5s times 5s is going to be 25s squared. Remember, whenever you have two variables, guys, you don't have to write it in biggest to smallest order. You write it in the order that you multiply by. So we multiply this first, that goes first, the two r's and s combining in the middle, and then the 5s and 5s last. So when you have two variables, leave it in that order. Combine those like terms, and your answer is 81r squared plus 90rs plus 25s squared. And there is your answer. Got it? The next one, number 6, f plus 10, f minus 10. This is a difference of square because if you notice, the parentheses are almost identical, except it has one positive, one negative. So we know when we multiply, that middle term is going to cancel. So you're really only multiplying f squared, the first term, and the last term, which is negative 100. If you do not understand the shortcut, let us do the long way. So we distribute first, then the outer, we get negative 10f. The inner, you get a positive 10f, and the last, you get negative 100. And so that's how we got f squared minus 100, because our middle terms cancel. 10f minus 10f. Got it? Flip it over. And pull this out a little. There you go. This one says find the area and perimeter of a rectangle. I'm going to draw the figure. A rectangle has a width of 2x cubed y to the 5th and a height, that probably should have said length, and a height of 5xy squared. It's okay how you label it. Still doing the same process. To find area, we know we do length times width or base times height. And so we're multiplying 5xy squared times a 2x cubed y to the 5th. When you multiply your coefficients, 5 times 2 is going to give us 10. And then x and x is going to give us x to the 4th. And then y squared and y to the 5th is going to give us y to the 7th. And so your final answer is 10 x to the 4th y to the 7th. To find perimeter, remember perimeter means you're adding up all the sides. So we add in 5xy squared plus 5xy squared because it's two sides, opposite sides are the same, plus 2x cubed y to the 5th plus 2x cubed y to the 5th. We add up all sides. These two terms are alike because they have xy squared, so that answer is 10xy squared. We're adding, so it's not going to be, we're not using the rules for multiplication, so the exponents do not change. They do not change. Here, these two are exactly alike. They both have x cubed y to the 5th, so we add those and we get 4x cubed y to the 5th, and that is your perimeter. Got it? Okay, down here we have area of a triangle. We have a triangle. It tells us the height is y squared. The base is y cubed minus 2y. We know area of a triangle is base times height over 2. We multiply the height and the base. And don't forget to divide it all by 2. Everybody got that? So on this problem, you should distribute it and got y to the 5th and distribute the second term minus 2y cubed all over 2, and that is your final answer because you can't go anywhere from that. Oh no, sorry, I know some of y'all saying something right now. Messed up. We can't distribute anymore. The y to the 5th will stay over 2. The second one reduces. 2 divided by 2, that's going to be negative y cubed. Sorry about that. If you want to put the 1, you can. Negative 1y cubed, but you don't have to. And that's the final answer. Here it says, find the area of the circle with a radius of x plus 1. Very important, we write the formula. Area of a circle is on your formula chart, which is pi times r squared. And so we have pi times our radius, which is x minus 1 squared. Does this squared mean we distribute this 2 into the parentheses? No, it does not. This is a minus sign. Remember, that means you write the parentheses what? Twice. Got it? Now, leave the pi outside. Pi is like a variable. It stays out there. You're not changing it to 3.14. Pi is a variable. Does everybody understand that? So we're going to leave it outside. We're going to go ahead and get rid of our two binomials. So we're going to distribute using FOIL method. We get x squared minus 1x, negative 1 times negative 1 turns into positive 1. Combine our like terms, and I'm going to move my answer over here. And so we still have that pi on the outside, right? And so when we combine our like terms, our final answer is x squared minus 2x plus 1. It's still not a final answer for the simple fact we still have that pi outside. Remember, pi is like a variable. So now we distribute pi to each term. And so your final answer is pi x squared minus 2x pi plus pi, or you could say 1 pi if you want. And that's the final answer. You're not changing it to 3.14, leaving pi in the problem as a variable. So the key to this one was recognizing r squared is just a perfect square trinomial. We multiplied those two, got our regular polynomial in x squared form, but we have to remember you have that pi times the radius squared, so we distribute the pi into the problem, and this is the final answer. Got it? Okay, we're down to the last three. Number 10. A bedroom has a length of x plus 3 and a width of x minus 1. Write a polynomial to express the area. So that's the first step. So we know area of a rectangle's length times width. So we have x plus 3 times x minus 1. Multiply those two, we end up with x squared minus 1x plus 3x minus 3. And your final answer should have been x squared plus 2x minus 3. That was the answer, writing it as a polynomial. Then the second problem tells us, then calculate the area of x is 10. So we plug in 10. And so we have 10 squared plus 2 times 10 minus 3. 10 squared is 100 plus 2 times 10, which is 20, minus 3. So basically that's 100 and I'm getting 120. Take away 3, that is going to be 117. So that one was a two-part answer. Got it? Okay, number 11. The length of the classroom is 4 feet longer than the width. So L is 4 feet longer than the width, which means that our width is just what? W. Write a polynomial to express the area of the classroom. So we know area is what? Length times width. So we basically have the length, 4 plus W, times the width, which is just W. To find area, we're going to distribute. That's going to give us 4W, and then W times W is going to give us W squared. And that's the answer. Or if we write it properly, and then it'll be W squared plus 4W. Then it says calculate it if it's 22, so we plug it in. 22 squared plus 4 times 22. And that's going to be, hold on, calculating it. You should have got 572. Got it? The last one was the volume of a rectangular prism. We know volume of a rectangular prism is area of the base, which is going to be length times width, and then multiply times height. So in this one, multiplying x plus 5 times x minus 4 times 1/2 x minus 3. We haven't multiplied 3 sets of trinomial, so you take it in sets of 2 like a binomial. So we distribute this one. We get x squared minus 4x plus 5x minus 20. That's the first one. We did the full method. Got it? This one reduces to x squared plus x minus 20. That's just this first set, the length times the width, the area of the base. Now you take this and then multiply it times the height. And it's the same process as the a binomial, except in a binomial we distributed x to both terms and 5 to both terms, but in this case you're going to be distributing 3 terms. So that's the only difference with it. And so basically you distribute the x squared and you end up with 1/2 x cubed. Distribute x squared to the other term and that becomes negative 3x squared. Got it? Now we got to distribute x to both terms. X times 1/2 is going to be 1/2 x squared. X times that is going to be negative 3x. I'm kind of running out of room. Then you distribute the 20. Half of negative 20 is going to be negative 10x. And then distribute the negative 20 to there. Negative 20 times 3 is going to be a positive 60. And your final answer, there are some terms we can collect. 1/2 x cubed is by itself. Let me zoom in a little bit. The x squareds can combine. And we know negative 3 plus 0.5, that combines, and then basically it's negative 3.5 or negative 5 over 2x squared. And then negative 3x and negative 10x combines and becomes negative 13x plus 60. And there is our final answer. Got it? Guys, please make sure you study for your tests. Know your formulas. Know how to multiply binomials, polynomials. Make sure you study your rules. If you study this review, understand the review, then you should do well on your test tomorrow. Go home, get some scratch paper, and rework out these problems, and you'll have no problem on your test.